Oh, there you are, YouTube. Doodle 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 doot. Subscribe.
What are we watching today on the 16th?
The Sixth Sense.
Oh, yay!
16 Sixth Sense.
The Sixth Sense, one of the great movies to come out of that amazing 1999 year. Many people think that is, one of the greatest years in cinema history. And I feel like this movie, when you are looking at all of the films from 1999, is in that upper echelon of great films. There were, I mean, let's try and I wrote down some of them here. There are a lot more than this, but like just the teenager movies of 1999, your American Pies, your 10 Things I Hate About You, your Idle Hands, your Varsity Blues, all of that. When I was in college, there was a class called like 1999 high school movies or 1999 teenage movies or something like that. Didn't end up taking it, but I was in college very soon after 1999, so it had clearly made an impact very quickly for there to be a class on it, in the early mid 2000s, that soon. Stuff like, let's see, the Blair Witch Project, American Beauty, which was nominated for Best Picture and won Best Picture, Phantom Menace, that was huge, pushed the medium forward. Technically, The Matrix also pushed the medium forward and, was just like very good. What else? You have, did I say Magnolia, Eyes Wide Shut, Fight Club, Insider, Iron Giant, Green Mile, just so many movies, and I'm not even saying them all. I'm barely scratching the surface. There were so many more, and I don't know, when you go back to the Oscars, I American Beauty won, and a lot of people think that movie hasn't aged very well, and they're like, it is kind of strange out of all the movies we had that's the one that won, but it was sort of this like festival darling little engine that just kept racking up the wins and, just kind of steamroll its way to the win in a way, that little engine that could sort of story. And I don't know, like Sixth Sense was nominated, and I would have been completely happy with that winning. Like, you have, what does best mean with Best Picture, right? You have, I think it can mean a lot of things. Like when people were saying Black Panther, why is that nominated? That doesn't make any sense. But that was like a cultural phenomenon. So maybe sometimes best means best movie to create a cultural phenomenon sort of thing. You have stuff like The Matrix. That was a huge movie, and it pushed the medium forward technically, right? And everybody, really enjoyed that movie, where like Phantom Menace definitely pushed the medium forward technically, but lukewarm reviews, still made a lot of money. But I just feel like everything was a little bit more lukewarm with that, where Matrix, everybody's jaws were on the floor, like, oh my goodness, what am I watching? This is something new. So I probably, if it were up to me, what should win in 1999, I probably would have like picked The Matrix. I know the Academy wasn't gonna go for that. They didn't even nominate it for Best Picture or anything like that, but maybe in a field of 10 they would have, but that's what I would have picked. But you can also have best mean like movies that really make you think, like Magnolia or something like that. You can have best mean just a really good movie, and I feel like, like just generically saying that, a really good movie, and I think The Sixth Sense, could fall in that. Has a great twist. It's very quotable. You have a child actor that can act very well. You have just, it would have been a nice change of pace for the Oscars to pick a genre film like that, a horror movie. I know some people don't want to call this a horror movie, but I think that's perfectly fine. When I say some people, though, I feel like that's more like media, because I think common people are completely okay with calling this a horror film, but it's like the media that's like, that are trying to, maybe I should say like the advertisers for The Sixth Sense. They're not going to want to call it horror because it's going to, make a lot of people not want to see it. So they're like, it's a thriller, I don't know. It's a ghost horror movie, maybe, thriller, whatever. But that would have been nice for the Oscars to recognize something like that because they do so rarely. So that would have been very cool had it won Best Picture, and I would have been completely happy for it. Same with director. Well, I don't know. Director, sometimes I do think about the technical aspects a little bit more. So I probably would have gone with Wachowski siblings, most likely. So, I don't know. It would have been a tough call for me for Best Picture, though. I would have been Matrix or Sixth Sense, right? Matrix or Sixth Sense. What am I going to do? It would have been a fight, but I probably would have gone Wachowski siblings for uh, um, for director. Yeah, I probably would. What else was nominated? We have supporting actor Haley Joel Osment. I'm not sure I'm going to call him a supporting actor though, because I think that he is a co-lead with Bruce Willis. So that's kind of category fraud right there. So I don't know. Sometimes when I think about category fraud, I'm like, that person doesn't deserve the win because they are not. They don't. They shouldn't be in that category. They're in the wrong category. So I would not vote for them for that reason. But I think he is great. The person that won that year was Michael Caine for Cider House Rules. Cider House Rules, I like that movie. But, Michael Caine didn't need an Oscar for that one, I don't think. But, again, I wouldn't have put Haley Joel Osment in that category. So, I don't know, maybe I would have given it to Michael Clark Duncan or something. Or for Green Mile. I don't know, who else was up there? I think, who else was up there? I can't remember. Best supporting actress, Toni Collette, right? And some people will say she is a one scene character in that movie, like at the very end, that very emotional scene. But I feel like throughout the entire film, when we do have her, she's building up to that. You can just see the anxiety, the worry she has for her son, trying to figure this out. I just thought all of that was great leading up to that end scene. So I wouldn't say it's a one scene performance. There's so much more to it. And she had so much weight to the film. So, if you want to give her an Oscar, I'd probably be okay with that. Directing, M. Night, that would have been cool, but I probably would have gone the Wachowski sisters. Screenplay, M. Night. I think I'm going to go there and say yes. I don't remember who was nominated. But, especially when you go back and watch this movie, and all the times he is screaming in your face, Bruce Willis is dead. Bruce Willis is dead. Without saying Bruce Willis is dead, is amazing that the twist still worked at the end. I just think that was very impressive. I was in high school when this came out. Somehow I did not see it in the theater. I watched it at home as soon as I could rent it. I watched it, and I did until that wedding ring hit the ground. That's when I found out, he was dead, and it was like when you're supposed to, basically when it's revealed, that moment. And I'm just still amazed when I go back and watch it. That wow, how did I not pick up on this earlier? Maybe some people did. I don't know. But also, that's another thing. When this came out, I didn't see it till it was on VHS, and it wasn't spoiled for me. How? How is that possible? How is that possible? The internet was different back then. You weren't using it for that. Yeah, I would have. I think I'd probably give it to M. Night for screenplay. Definitely editing. I think there's a lot of great editing in this, especially when it comes to trickery in making sure that you maintain the thought that Bruce Willis is alive throughout the film. So I don't know. I'd have to look at all the other movies. It probably belongs to The Matrix. Probably who deserves it too, but I think the editing was pretty superb in this movie as well. I just think it's a fantastic movie. Totally would have been happy with it winning Best Picture, and I don't think people think it's maybe aged poorly like American Beauty, so maybe would have been one that stood the test of time. And it just, again, would have been great for the Oscars to have another genre film in their Best Picture history, because they have so few of those when it comes to the horror genre anyway. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I love this movie. I think it's his best one. I like a lot of his movies. I don't know, maybe I like about 50%. I don't know. But I like this one. I always say it's his best. I kind of wrestle with that sometimes because I also like Signs a lot. But I do think this is his best work. You know, probably, yeah, it's his best work. Anyway, I'm going to include, I realize I've gone a long time here, but I'm going to include some past pictures from our Halloween Advent when we have landed on The Sixth Sense. Some of those pictures will include me, some will include my kids. So, you know, feel free to take a look at those right now. And that's a look at the history of our Sixth Sense photos throughout the years.
But before I end this vlog, we went to the arboretum today, so here's some footage from that.
What are you playing with, honey?
A fairy.
A fairy?
Yeah.
You found a little fairy garden?
Yeah.
Is that a little fairy chair?
Yeah.
And you're going to set the little fairy in it? So nice.
You got your fairies hanging out?
Whoopsie daisy.
For her party.
That's her potty chair?
Yeah. For her party. It's actually a chair.
Just a normal chair?
Yes. Perfect.
Oh, there are bees around here, aren't there?
Yeah. So much
They make our honey, don't they?
Yeah.
You have some fairy food? What did you find?
She to sit.
You want her to sit?
Yeah. I want to sit.
At this table here?
I want to sit at her. I want at the table. I want some. I want to. I want
Is that a shell? We don't live anywhere close to the ocean. Where'd that come from?
a shell. Well, a bus.
Whoopsie daisy. You alright?
Well, a fairy.
The fairy food is right here. It's all that sand.
Well, fairy.
Good job, babe.
I'll leave that there. Whoa. Hey, are you in there? Hey, silly girl. Where are you? Can you see me?
No, I can't.
You can't? Is that place fun? Is that a secret garden? What do you call that place? Is it like a tent? There you are. Are you gonna come through it too? Did you bonk your head? Are you gonna come through it? You just gonna hang out down there? You trying to grab some of that origami?
Oh, I got it.
You got one?
Oh.
You got it. Good job. Can you reach it?
Whoa, I got it.
Yeah, you did. Here, let's go catch up with Mommy.
There's some more.
Yeah, there are a lot. That one's too high. Are you trying to feed him? Can you hold that big crane? Yeah, that's the biggest one we've seen, isn't it?
You have to hold on.
Can you hold on?
Hold on to this branch up here. And over there.
And
Okay.
push me.
Okay.
I mean, no.
That's as good as it's going to get. Yeah, the bouncing seems more fun.
Yeah.
Whoa. I gotta hold your thing.
Well, there you go. Look at you.
Whoa.
Hey, Mommy's pushing her right now. You can push her next. Look at that. That looks like so much fun.
Ooh, is it like a ride?
Yeah, look at that. Do you hear all those birdies?
Are you okay, sweetie? Yeah, they need to give it a rest.
Alfred Hitchcock would be proud. Singing a little song for me?
So on that note, on that ending, perhaps I will see you tomorrow for more Pure Hangout.